Hey everyone, we are so excited that you guys have joined us today for our webinar. We are going to have a great time today. We're going to be looking at your local listings, and there's a lot of different ways to look at local listings, but local listings are really important, and we're going to unpack that today. So, as we get started, if you're in the chat, go ahead and hop over to the chat and let us know where you're joining from today. Would love to hear where you're coming from today. We're going to have a chance today to live audit a Google My Business profile and take a look at that together. So if you are in the comments, be sure to let us know you're here by letting us know where you're from. We're going to be asking for a volunteer here in just a little bit. If we don't have a volunteer, I've got one on backup. But would love just to hear where you're coming from as we get started today. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and we're gonna take a look at our Google My Business local listings and what those mean for you. So today we're looking at your Google profile in the age of AI, because today is very different in how your Google My Business profile shows up than it did 6 months ago, or even 6 months before that. Technology is changing, as you all know, and we've got a lot of updates to show you today in your Google My Business profile. Hey, Cora. Glad you're joining us from Atlanta, Georgia. Glad you're here. So today we're going to go ahead and hop right in. So we're going to talk about what is a GMB. I might say GMB, and that is short, the acronym for Google My Business. And your Google My Business profile is referred to as the GMB. We're also going to be taking a look at Yelp. What is Yelp? Half of the people that I've talked to in the last week have no clue what Yelp is. Other people are very fond and know exactly what Yelp is. So we're going to take a look at that. And then we are going to be looking at the importance of local listings and why these are important for you as a church. And then finally, we're going to be talking about how to optimize these. So we're going to go ahead and hop right into what is your Google My Business profile. If you look here on the screen, this is what your Google My Business profile is. It is Google's own local source of information. It is knowing who is local and who is not. So 10 apps, if I'm located in Lubbock and I have a Google My Business profile, they know if somebody's searching for maybe 10 apps in California, maybe there's a tent maker that makes tents and they're called 10 apps in California. They're going to more likely show that more localized listing because of our Google My Business profile. So Google weights a lot of their search results off of your Google My Business profile. This happens in the map pack that happens at the top of searches. We'll look at that in a second. It happens in your maps. It happens in Google search as well. And now, more than ever, it's happening in AI search results. Now, we're going to look specifically at AI search results here in a moment. But if somebody's looking in AI like, hey, what's a great church in Lubbock? Then it's going to pull from these different local listings, one of those being your Google My Business profile. So you'll see here, this is the Google My Business profile, a title, some reviews, some pictures. I think you guys all know what that is, but let's take a look at why is this important. So if you just go to your browser right now, just run a quick test. Alex in Fort Collins, go to your browser and just type in church in Fort Collins, or Cora in Atlanta, just go type in church in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, what's going to show up first here, what you're going to see, this is called the map pack. And the map pack is what your Google My Business profile listing is based off of. And so just want to show you that because we'll be looking for any of our church growth members. We help them throughout the year and working through organic SEO. We also help through local listing SEO, which is what this is and what we're focusing on today. So if you look, local listing SEO and your Google My Business profile is extremely important because look, the very first thing, like 99% of the time for churches, it does vary if you're like just looking for shoes or something like that. The local listings map pack won't always show up at the top. But for churches, it primarily shows up at the top. And so in that, if somebody's new to your town or if somebody's like, man, exploring their faith and they're just sort of checking things out, what they're going to search is like, hey, I want a church near me or a church in Louisville or a church in Fort Collins. And what's going to show up at the very top is the map pack most of the time. Now, you may have just searched and you're like, Zach, you're crazy. I did not see a map like this. But I'm guessing if any of you guys have tried that, I bet 95% of you are seeing a map at the top. Now, why is this important? Because if you don't have a really well optimize Google My Business profile, there's really no chance for you to show up in the top three. And if you really believe that God is doing something really powerful in your church community and you want to help others engage in scripture and draw closer to God through what you guys have going on, then what you need to be doing is need to be working on your search engine optimization. You need to be working on your Google My Business profile. So in that, we're going to be taking a look today at how do you optimize your Google My Business profile so that your profile has the best chances at showing up at the top. There's a lot of factors that go into that. Now, the second thing I want to just show you, look at what's below it. Now, what we're seeing more and more in the last 3 to 6 months is these local listers showing up more and more. And the biggest one and the most popular in most towns is going to be Yelp. And Yelp is just a local listing directory that captures reviews. It helps give a platform for people to give reviews and you to know what's the best restaurant in my town, things like that. But what's really cool and what we're seeing is that Yelp showing up here in this position right here. And so I just want to show you that because it's really important for you now more than ever. 6 months ago, this really wasn't the case in most towns, but we're beginning to see this more and more in towns larger than about 40,000 people. I also just audited a town just a little bit ago that is less than 40,000, and it had a top 10 churches in that town. And so it's not just the large towns, metropolitan areas. We're starting to see it more and more in the smaller towns as well. So I just want to share that with you. And if you're like, Zach, what is Yelp? We'll take a look at that here in just a moment. But it is so important for us to focus on this because 70% of the clicks happen in the top 5 search results. So if somebody's looking for a church, 70% of the time, they're going to go to one of the top 5 search results. Now here, we'll see, here's position 1, 2, and 3. That's map pack search results. That can count in that top 5 results there. And then people might go to Yelp and start looking through Yelp. And then there might be 2 churches listed underneath that are going to get 70% of the clicks. So it's really important for you to make sure to focus on your Google My Business and take a look at that. All right. So next, I just want to show you why this is important too. So this is Oak Ridge Community Church. Oak Ridge Community Church is a part of our church growth package. And in our church growth package, we take care of optimizing your Google My Business profile for you, helping you with local SEO, helping you with organic SEO, helping you with social media ads, your Google ads. But one of the cool features or tools that we use is we use a map pack ranking tool. So what you'll see here is whenever they started with us on October 30th, 2024, and we ran an initial audit for if somebody searched for a church in Clarksville, where does this church show up? Now, one of the unique things about the map pack is Google will localize your results based off of where you're coming from. So if you right now search for a church in Atlanta or a church in Fort Collins, you're more than likely going to show up number 1 if you're searching from the church, because your church is like the epicenter of like, hey, if your next door neighbor to your church is looking for a church, Google's like, well, hey, you live right next door to this church, you should check them out. So one of the big factors is locality and location, but there's a lot of ways that you can help grow that bubble further than just ranking high just in your neighborhood, but helping you rank high further outside of that. So we do this, it's called a heat map. And what it does is it just goes and through its tool, it just goes and looks for church in Clarksville at all those points. And then it shows you where you're ranking. So on average, whenever Oak Ridge started with us, they were ranking at 10.8. Now 10.8, you're not seeing on that homepage in general. If you're not in the top 3 in general, you're not showing up. Now, if somebody's on like maps.google.com or maps on their phone and they're searching for church, you might see, hey, like originally they were ranking number 8 or number 10 in some of these areas. That you really have to scroll down to see number 8 and 10. Even like 20 over here, 13, you're having to scroll quite a ways in order to see them. Now, you see after some time with us, they're now at an average placement of 2.2. So you can see a few places they're ranking number 1 at, that's that green star there. There's a few places really across the board, basically ranking number 2 or number 3 in really their whole region, in this whole area around their church. And this is a really cool tool to analyze and see, hey, how does doing some of these improvements that we're going to talk about today and optimizing your profile, how does that actually translate to seeing more families or more people coming to your church? It absolutely does. Because again, if somebody's looking for a church and they can't find you on that first page, they're more than likely going to go to 3 other churches first that show up on that page before they come check out your church. So this church in particularly, we saw a great increase in the amount of visitors to their website just because of this. We also saw a great increase in the amount of people going to their plan a visit page. And I always tell people, always hone in on your plan a visit page, because that is really, it's not inside people coming to look for the announcement, or it's not people coming just to look for when's your Christmas Eve service, but people that are new here and looking to plan a visit to come check out your church. Those are the people that are going to your new here page or your plan a visit page. So the cool thing here, I just checked on their analytics. We saw a great increase in the amount of people coming to their new here page or their plan a visit page because of this. So really important to take a look at that. All right. So let's take a look now. Now I'm going to drop this. Let me grab this link here. We've got a Google My Business optimization worksheet for you guys. And this is just a checklist. So let me come over to the chat and I'm going to drop this in the chat for you guys. And we're going to take a look at this checklist together. So we put this checklist together to help you really walk through this on your own. If you're part of our church growth package, know that we're doing this for you this month. And if you've been in our church growth package for a while, we've probably already done a lot of this initially, but there's stuff to continue to optimize. And also this month, we're going to be looking a little bit further at some other local listings, like we talked about Yelp, and then Apple business listings and Apple Maps. So we're going to take a look at those here in just a moment. But let me go ahead and just help you out as well to get started and to really know, hey, where do I even go to edit this stuff? Where you want to go into your URL bar right now is type in business.google.com. Once you get there, hopefully you are the editor of your profile. If you're not, what we have down here is a guide on how to video verify your profile and to become the owner of your profile. Now, first I would say talk to other people on staff, have them all log in with their Google Workspace account or their Gmail, and have them all go to business.google.com. We've had people just send out a blast to their whole staff and say, hey, everyone, go to business.google.com and let me know if you see our Google My Business profile. And sometimes it's like, oh, the youth pastor has it. Like, hey, add us on. And we've got some information too on how an operating procedure, a standard operating procedure to show you how you can add multiple staff members to your Google My Business profile. I would really recommend having multiple just so you can always access your profile. Now, if you're like, Zach, we can't access it, that's where this part of the guide is really helpful. It's going to walk you through how to do that. Now, there's also churches we've worked with that have gotten their Google My Business profile disapproved, and we have a reinstatement guide here as well and how to get that reapproved if you're in timeout. So let's go ahead and start at the top. Now, what I sort of say over here, I'll just show you. We want all of our information to be accurate, we want it to be complete, and we want it to be recently updated. Those are the 3 main things. Just think about those things as you go through and edit anything on your profile. So first is accurate. If you have one phone number and one website on your Google My Business profile, but Yelp and Facebook and your Apple Business listing all have different phone numbers or different websites or different open times, what you're doing is really confusing, one, AI search results, because it's sort of grabbing all those. You're also confusing Google because Google is looking for accuracy among all of your local listings to really verify you are who you say you are and to further give you better ranking possibilities whenever somebody's searching for a church near you. So you want to make sure all of your information across the board is accurate. Now, as I go through all this too, note a lot of this Google My Business optimization checklist is the exact same for Yelp. It's the exact same for your Apple My Business profile. It's the exact same for all these MapQuest. There's tons of different listers. We're really hitting today Google My Business, Yelp, and your Apple Business Connect account, which is Apple Maps. Those are the main ones you want to focus on first. There's a lot of others, but the main thing is you want to make sure all the information is accurate. You want all your profiles to be as complete as possible. And by what we mean by that is every time there's an open space, like, hey, like social media profile, Don't just skip that, add it. The more that you fill your profile, especially with Google, the more they respect you because they're like, hey, we want all this information to help end users. And if you fill out all that information, we see it help you rank higher. So be sure that your profiles are complete. Also, be sure things are recent. We're going in, even though for our church growth members that have been with us for a while, we've already done this. We're going to go in and even just change and update your descriptions this month because what Google's seeing is, hey, this church hasn't updated their description in 5 years, but your church, you just updated it 3 months ago. You just updated it again today. They're seeing some activity. They love activity. So keep that in mind. So let's just take a look at the checklist here. This is all, I'll show you in the exact placements and where to edit these here in just a moment. But you want your business name, your logo, your cover photo, your categories correct, your phone number correct, your website correct, a good long description with great keywords in it, specifically stating church and town name. Look at this. You want to be sure and somewhere in your description have church in Lubbock, Texas, or church in Fort Collins, Colorado. So be sure that you have that information there. You also have your operating hours here. Be sure and have those updated. You'll also be getting emails of like, hey, are you guys closed on the 4th of July? Update those. Google, anytime Google sends you an email like that to update your operating hours, do it. Because if you don't, your front office is also going to get 5 phone calls asking, hey, are you guys open or closed tomorrow? So be sure and do that. Add photos. We're going to go a lot more into depth in adding photos in a moment. Add questions and answers. And service areas, we're saying at this point, do not add. It used to be we would see some good results if you added a service area. That typically isn't working as well anymore, and we're seeing actually some negative effects on that. So we're going to get into all this in some technicalities here. So let me go ahead and bring this over. We're going to go ahead and audit and work through an actual profile here so you can see that. So if somebody, again, searches for a church in Lubbock, here's that Yelp listing. Now I'm just going to go ahead and if you're logged into your business profile, you're going to see something like this where it gives you some extra things where you can see performance, you could add posts, but we're going to look at edit profile first. So go ahead and click on edit profile and you're going to take a look at the business name. Business name, don't adjust. If you do that, it's going to kick you into re-verification. You're going to have to do a video verification. Don't adjust that unless absolutely necessary. Same with business category. A lot of times business category gets auto-chosen by Google, so don't adjust that. Your description, again, be sure a couple of paragraphs here. Use our checklist to help you walk through maybe how to adjust that. Your phone number, be sure that's in there. Be sure that your social media profiles are in here. This is really important for you to have. Google really likes you to have your social media profiles. So just come through here. You're going to add as much information as you can as you begin to edit this. Now I'm going to take a pause. Do we have any questions from anyone so far? I just want to pause here for a second. If you have some questions, let's take a moment to go ahead and throw those in the chat. If I don't see any questions, we'll keep moving. But as I'm looking at this, just know what you want to do is add as much as you can. Even on parking, let people know like, hey, we've got a parking lot and you can come park here for free. Google just loves to have as much information as they can again. All right, I'm gonna hold for just a moment longer before we continue on. Any questions so far? All right, awesome. We'll continue on. The next area we're going to look at, and this again goes across the board for Yelp, Apple, everyone. They also all love photos. Now, these photos, you want to be sure and be uploading as often as you can. Add as many new photos as you have. Part of our church growth package this month is we're going to be emailing our clients and saying, hey, can you send us some new photos? We want to help you upload those. And so be sure to be on the lookout for that. Send somebody around with their iPhone this weekend, get some more simple photos, upload those. So photos is a great area you want to be sure to have added. While you're in photos, be sure also come over here and click on photos here. And you want to be sure and add a cover and add your logo. Make sure you have those and not just a bunch of photos, but you want these in here as well. Now, part of the unique part, if we were to look at the map that we looked at, one of the cool things, just to give you some insider tricks here, is these images. If you upload an image that's geotagged from over here, like look at this 20, if you uploaded an image specifically from that area, Google then is like, oh, somebody from that area is actively going to this church and interested in it. We might as well just rank them higher in that area. So that's something, just a little more advanced thing you can do there, but something that you can do to help move that needle in different areas. So that's that. That's Google My Business. So Google My Business, the big area, edit your profile, add photos. Now the next big thing is get Google reviews. You want to get as many reviews as possible, not all at once. So don't email your whole church today and say, hey, everyone, go leave us a review. What you want to do, you can go ahead and click on your Google reviews and you can click on get more reviews. This will give you a link right here as well as a QR code. Now, there's a lot of different strategies to do this. If you have a big database of people, what I would encourage you to do is maybe set it up and just say, I'm going to just email 3 people a week or 10 people a month, but try and get in some type of rhythm where you're reaching out to people. I always encourage people, one of the best places to do that is start with your staff. Go to your staff this week and ask them all to use this link, send it to them in a staff email, and have them all do it. Don't do it all during a staff meeting. If Google sees 10 brand new reviews come in all within 10 minutes at a staff meeting, they're going to mark that as spam and they're not all going to count. Maybe the first one will, but the other 9 won't. So encourage your staff throughout the week to go in and add a review. I've even seen some people that they're just like, hey, I'm going to go in personally and have them scan this QR code on my phone and make them write a review right then and there. So start with your staff. The next thing I'd say is branch out to your leaders. Get a list of all of your volunteers or your leaders and send them out to them. Alex has a question here. Do we need to go to those places to take pictures? Great question, Alex. You can go to those places with your phone, but it's not going to be of your church then. And so the thing you can do, it's a little bit more advanced, but you can change the meta information. If you just Google change the location meta, META, on my pictures, there's some free tools out there where you can pick an address and you can pick where you want that photo to come from. So you basically then just upload your photo and then you put in your address with that free tool, and then it saves the meta information, and then you download it and you have a brand new image of your church that you can then upload from there. Now, I've seen other people like taking pictures of like the live stream. If you have a live stream from your laptop, that would require 0 like actual adjustments from you on your side. But if you want to just upload some pictures of your church, you can go in there and just upload and change that meta information, and it'll help you have a better chance of ranking in those areas that maybe you're struggling in. So great question. Thanks for that, Alex. And I'll try and find in our post-show notes, I'll try and find that free tool that y'all can use, and you just upload your photos and put that in the notes. So we'll send out a replay review, and also in our resources on our website, we'll have a link for that for you guys. So, all right, so there's that. So be sure and get reviews, because again, think about this. Google ranking people is all about a popularity contest. They're going to show people, I guess here's the question. Do you think they're going to show somebody who has 10 reviews that were all like 10 reviews from 3 or 4 years ago versus a church that's getting 2 or 3 reviews a month and they have like 120 reviews? They're more than likely, and the stats and the analytics all show, and best practices in SEO will say, the one with more reviews and better reviews and higher velocity of reviews, so that's that most recent reviews, is going to have a better chance, because again, Google's like, well, they're more popular, like people are talking about them, whereas this other church, and we've even seen where, hey, they have 200 reviews, but they're all from 3 years ago. So Google's like, they might not even be a real church anymore. They may have shut their doors. So I'm going to show this other smaller church that has 15 reviews, but they're all within the last couple months. And so your review velocity and the amount of reviews you're getting, and the more recent they are, is definitely helpful. So go there, click on reviews, click on this, get more reviews, grab this link, send it out to people. Take a screenshot of this QR code. You can right click this and do save image as, and put that on something like a little printout card and hand it to people. You could print this out and just go around on a Sunday and have some people fill it out. But that'll really be helpful. The other thing is, we're talking about reviews. You have the chance to respond to reviews, and I would really encourage you to respond to every single review, negative or positive. thank people for the positive reviews. And as you respond to any review, be sure and include keywords that you're wanting to use. So like, hey, thank you so much for your 5-star review. We're so glad you and your family have gotten plugged in here at the Way Church in Lubbock, Texas. And there at the end, you had church in Lubbock, Texas. So the keywords that you're looking for as far as like, hey, church in Lubbock, Texas, or church, I wouldn't put like church near me. That's just a little too spammy, but find ways that you can naturally include your church name and just include church in some way, shape, or form in your review reply. So let me go back to this screen prior. You can click on reply to any of these reviews, and I would encourage you to do that for any review, because again, the more that Google can see you're active, they like that. And the same goes for Yelp and all the other places as well. All right, I'm going to head over to Yelp. If you have any further questions on Google My Business, feel free to drop those in and we'll come back around to those. But we're going to go look at Yelp. So again, this is right here. Hey, what are churches in Lubbock, Texas? Last updated September 2025. Wow. They're telling Google, hey, this is the source. This is the place to come. Now, if you come in here and you look at any of these, we could just click on one of these and you'll be able to see this is just like any other profile, like the Google My Business profile. There's pictures, there's reviews, there's your location, there's your hours, and all you need to do, this one is claimed, but if yours is not claimed, you just click on claimed and you'll go through a process of claiming that profile, adding everything, verifying that you really do have permission to claim that profile. But it's really important now more than ever, go and claim your Yelp profile, especially for churches. We are seeing this pop up all the time in the top results. Now, the other thing too, if you just have a little bit of time and you're like, hey, I need to just focus on one of these, focus on Google My Business. Second, focus on Yelp. The other cool thing is Apple Maps pulls all their information in their listings from Yelp. They also pull from a few other places, but the main place they're pulling from is Yelp. You'll see a lot of times, even some places that have reviews here, it'll show reviews of your church, but they're pulling reviews from Yelp. And there's a few other places that'll do this as well. So I'd encourage you, get Yelp done because it's going to help you outside of that. But if you have more time, go into Apple Maps and you're going to want to manage your business. So have a business on Maps, come down here and you're just going to click on manage your business and it'll walk you through claiming your profile on Apple Maps. Now, for all of our church growth package members, you don't need to worry about any of this. We're going to be taking care of most of this for you. There are a few steps. If you're in a church growth package, we're going to have to rely on you for, because they're going to want to give you a phone call sometimes. Sometimes they want you to do video verification and actually have you walk around. Now, while I'd love to fly out to Maryland and California, and I would love Alex to come to Fort Collins, I want to know what church you're at. Alex, shoot us a message. We do get up to Fort Collins, but I'm like, I would love to come to Fort Collins, come up to the mountains and come take that video verification for you, but we just really can't. So you need to do that yourself. So there's certain parts of this process that we're going to have to send you some steps on in our church growth package. So be on the lookout for an email from us that we'll be walking you through those steps, and we're going to get a lot of that done on the pre-side, have you do the verification, and then we'll come alongside on the backside and optimize and set up for you. So that's that. One other thing I haven't hit, a part of our church growth package is you have our website package. In our website package, we have a social media automated poster. The cool thing in that is you can post any new church announcement you have to your Facebook, to your Instagram, but now more than ever, you can also add in your Google My Business profile. And so in your social media poster area on your website, there's an area where you can say, hey, I'm about to publish this church announcement. I want to put it on my social media, on my Facebook, on my Instagram, but now I would encourage you to go in there and add in your Google My Business profile. And if you're on our church growth package, we'll get that added in for you and just let you know, hey, in the future, add those announcements. Because what that's going to do is it'll add a little box here of upcoming posts or upcoming events. So I want to encourage you guys to do that because, again, the more active you are, the more excited that makes Google and the more likely they're going to show you higher than a church that has never posted anything. Another thing, just to show you on here specifically within Google My Business, is to look at the questions and answers area. So you can see some questions. Some of these are ones that we've added in the past, like what time is your church service? What do I wear? What do I wear is one of the most common questions in Google My Business profiles. So I would encourage you, if you don't have a what do I wear question, you can go ahead and just click on ask a question, add that question, and answer it yourself right there. It'll really help a new person to your church find the answer to their question really quickly and feel more comfortable coming, because nobody wants to show up to a church that's like, hey, we are like ties and like dresses type of church, and then they show up in their Dallas Cowboys jersey or their Texas Tech jersey, and it was like, oh, that person just feels a little out of place and embarrassed. So a lot of people are wanting to know that, and you can tell they're wanting to know that because on most profiles that we audit, somebody's already asked that question. So definitely look at that. And if you see a question that's unanswered like that, be sure and answer it. And again, as you answer it, include some of those keywords like, yeah, we are a church in Lubbock, Texas. So our old church name was this. This is now our new church name. So be sure and include as much of that as possible. So let's take a break here, and I would love to hear, what have you guys taken away from this, or what questions do you have, or what have you learned today? Let's just have a little bit of a question and answer time here at the end. I don't want to keep us going too much longer, but I hope that was insightful for you on one, the importance of these local listings and why they're important. And I'd just love to hear, like, what was one of your takeaways today, or do you have a question as we wrap up today? Go ahead and leave that in the comments. All right. Oh, there we go. Oh, Jen, I'm so sorry you missed. We will have a replay for you. So be on the lookout. We'll try and send that out in email. We'll also put it on social media. But Jen, I hope you'll be able to watch some of this again. Alex will shoot you an email. And then, awesome. I'm glad you guys got some good takeaways from today. Really, my heart is to help you guys rank higher in the search results so that people can come find you and really connect in this community. And so I just want to encourage you guys to really focus on this, because if you're not, it's really hard for new people in your community, or for people that are new to faith and just looking for a church, for them to find you if you're not ranking well. So we'll go ahead and get that out. And Susan, sorry about confusion in the different time zones. We'll get the replay out as soon as we can. And in that replay, we'll have links to the tools that I mentioned, and also tools to the checklist that we have. So we're going to send that out as quickly as we can. We'll get to editing this right away. Hopefully we'll get that out to you guys tomorrow. If you guys received an invite email, then you're going to receive our replay email. If you did not receive that, email us, and I'm going to put this in the chat here at support@tentapps.com. So if you didn't get an invite email from us and you want to get the replay email, just email us, support@tentapps.com. We'll get you added to that list so we can be sure to get you on there. Just a quick last, is Yelp included too? Yes, in our church growth package, we're doing the Yelp for you, if that was your question, Alex. So this month, we're going to be going through and getting that Yelp going. And like I said, Yelp does have a little bit of a verification process for those in our church growth package. So we're going to have to reach out to you and have you do some of that as well. So awesome. Glad that answered your question there. With the Yelp, I would say jump on it. It is really good to see that. There's a lot of others. And for us, members of our church growth package, we sort of hit these local listings every few months. And so we're going to come back in. And if last year all we got was your Google My Business set up, and then this year or this time around we got Yelp set up, we're going to keep adding more and more local citations for you in a way that we can help monitor all of those for you. But it also just helps to just keep adding those. There's tons of them out there. There's lots of great local listings, lots of great local citation places to go. But the more you get, the better. So we'll keep updating those for you. But I'm excited for you guys to go try this out. As you guys try this out on your own, give us a shout if you have any questions. If you're part of our church growth package, again, don't worry about it. We're going to be sending you an email soon of any of the steps that we need you to take, and then we'll let you know all the steps we're taking. So Hope you guys had a great time hanging out today. I know I had a great time getting ready for today and auditing different sites, auditing different profiles. But more importantly, I really am hoping and praying that this will help you reach more people in your community. So if you have any questions, reach out. Other than that, we'll catch you later. Have a great day.